I'm a little out of breath. It's funny because I can't plan these videos really because it's inspiration, and it's similar to how I make music. It's like I'm waiting for the wave to surf and then I just go and I do it. But I sort of have an inkling maybe it's coming. Like I could tell, like, okay, like it's getting closer. Sometimes I'll say it's getting closer and then it's not for a month, but I'll just be thinking it's getting closer. But then it might be like 3 days off and I might get a feeling like, yeah, like I think I'm ready to talk. I have no idea what I'm going to really talk about at all. I just feel that it's coming. And then it's like I'm out and I'm walking around today and all of a sudden it's all just coming out of my, and I got to run and I got to grab the camera and I got to go and just do it. Because I don't have the ability to really control. I could make a video and talk about any of this energy, inspiration, spiritual type stuff anytime, and it'd be interesting. But I'm waiting for the, you know what I mean? I'm waiting to be angelically possessed to have it be that it's not really like it's me, because then I know it'll just flow out of me and it's good. And I'll like it. Plus, I won't even think to be like, I should edit that or I should do, because it's like, it's not even really me. It's just all just coming to me. So today we're talking about sort of training your vibration for inspiration, to be in the proper mode to receive more inspiration, or to be, like I said in the last video, on that wave of inspiration where it's like you're surfing through life and the things that you're wanting are coming to you easily. And I'm not talking about getting things that you want, purely because you need stuff and let's get you to feel superior to other people and, and that kind of thing. And I'm not doing this as a means to try to motivate you for success. That's not this shit at all. This is spiritual stuff. And when I say wanting, I'm not saying, because a lot of people say, well, you shouldn't be wanting, because then you're feeling like you're lacking something. And if you're feeling like you're lacking something, then you're not going to attract the thing that you're wanting. What I mean is, we all want to feel better. We all want to feel our best. If you're sick, you want to feel well. If you're feeling like you're hungry, then you want to eat. Like there's like a want. There's a moving towards wanted. There's a moving towards better. There's identifying a preference and then moving toward what that is, and the satisfaction, the feeling, the pull of the desire to get that thing. That's very fun. And that's like what life is. That's the whole thing. That's what we're doing. We're seeking and we're moving ahead and we're growing. And I'm not talking about that so that you can get to some place where you have everything that you want and you got a lot of stuff, or that you feel superior to others, because that's nonsense. Nobody's superior to anybody else. We're all the same. We're all light beings with this vibrational thing going on. And we're all eternal and we're all energy. And so what are you gonna get that's gonna, we're here for the experience. We're not taking anything. We're not keeping this stuff. What we're keeping is the growth in our consciousness, the expansion of our consciousness. And that's for the benefit of the entire universe, not just for one individual. All right, so training the vibration so that you could be more in tune with the inspirational stuff. And let's just talk about how you get trained to something that you don't necessarily want, or how you get trained to what is just happening to you in your observation. Like everybody's kind of got a mix of what their vibration is. And what I mean by vibration is like how you are, where you're at, what's your countenance, like, because everybody can put on a smile, but if you're not feeling it inside of you, you know the truth of how you really feel on a day-to-day basis. So vibration is kind of like your general mood, your patterns of thought. It's the whole of you. It's the part of you that's not a physical thing, that's not just the sensory stuff of I got stabbed and it hurts feeling, but the emotional thing. But it's also like, your thoughts are part of that mixture too. So your thought patterns are part of that mixture. So how do you wake up? What kind of things do you think about? Do you immediately start complaining about the person that wronged you when you wake up because they're a dick? Or are you like appreciative and feeling good and you're like this is going to be a good day? Because that counts towards saying your vibration is in a better condition or it's at a higher level, so to speak. It's not about higher as in better. It's just more preferable for the individual, because you know what is your preference. And I think it's fair to say that people don't prefer to feel like shit, but some people definitely stay that way because they're trained in that way, and then they don't see a way to get out of it. So this is where we're going to talk about what it is to be sort of trained in response to what's around you, and then how can you kind of start to make it more that you have some control over that and you regain some power with your vibration so that it's in the ideal place that you'd like it to be. So we all got this mix. We're all around all these people all the time. You go to the store, you go to your school, or you go to your family gathering or your friends or whatever, and you've got this mixture of these different people that you interact with that are operating at different levels, and they're all individually a mix. They might be doing good in one subject and not so good in another. They might be feeling really good half of the day, and the other half of the day they want to shoot themselves. Or they have a sore subject that if you bring it up, you know, that kind of thing, where you bring up that subject and now it's not going to be cool because they're going to complain and complain and complain. And they're going to feel like shit afterward. And they'll try to make other people around them come along with that and feel like shit with them. And that's how you can sort of observe what somebody else is doing and get trained, not because you want to, but just by your exposure, that you start listening to it a lot and you start being around it a lot. And it's not to blame them. It's not to say that they made you feel that way. It's that you allowed that influence to have that power to come in. And nobody's impervious to that. If you're around people who are feeling shitty all the time, you're going to start taking on and training yourself to what they're doing. So you observe it, and then you start kind of practicing to go along with it. You sort of program yourself into that mode, and then you're off. Then you're not on the wave of the inspired good stuff that you want for yourself. Now you're going with them, and it sucks usually. So a lot of people just have like a kind of a mix, and they have certain people, and they might say like, I'm going to avoid that person because if I don't go hang out with those people, then I don't have to feel like shit, and I don't have to deal with that. And that can sort of work, but if you haven't really changed your belief about, if you haven't changed the pattern that you have yourself going on, if you haven't done anything to sort of mend or soften or massage that aspect of the vibration, then you will just attract it with another person. So that's how you can have situations where, you know, how people will say like, they get out of one relationship and they get into another and it's the same, or you move geographically to get away from something and you end up in the same spot, or you leave work because you can't stand the people there and then you go to work at another place and all of a sudden before you know it the people are treating you the same way. Or a person has a narrative that they tell about how the world wrongs them, like they have a kind of complex about how they're oppressed, and they believe it firmly because the universe is responding. It is going to keep showing you that thing over and over again if that's what you vibrate. So your vibration, how you are, what your or your culmination of your thoughts and your feelings, your emotions are, that's your vibration. The universe responds to that. It sends the package to that address. That's how I like to say it. It's like, you can think you're over somewhere else, or you can think you want to be at another address and get the package that's the ideal thing that you want over there. The universe doesn't care about it. It focuses on where you're really at. How do you really feel? What are you really thinking? What are you really saying? Are you beating yourself up in your head? Are you telling yourself you suck or that life sucks? Do you know somebody who says that we live in the worst of times? Do you think somebody like that is going to feel good if they say that every single day? And do you think that then the universe is going to be able to deliver what they would actually ideally want to them? Or is it a fair universe? It's a fair universe that delivers what you've got going on according to your vibration. So you can punish yourself all you like, and then you're going to see more shitty results. Or you can gain some power, pull it back, and how you do that, that's what we're going to talk about basically. Isn't it? Hi guys. That's what we're going to talk about, is how to soften it. But it's important to explain what this whole thing is. Why is it operating like this? Because what you have basically is you have beliefs, which are patterns of thought that you practice. Not just things that you necessarily know, like you know if you shoot someone they'll die kind of stuff. It's more about your personal beliefs about what's going on, the narrative, the story that you tell of life, your beliefs. Those they build, they inform what you expect. So beliefs craft expectation. That's my favorite way to say it. Beliefs craft expectation. It just sounds cool. And it's just, it resonates if you know where I'm coming from, which is why I'm explaining in detail rather than just offering a stupid slogan like some people do with their videos. So, beliefs craft expectation. So you have this belief about your life that, everything sucks and I'm not getting what I want and it just seems like it can't get ahead and it just seems like the universe is just, or God or whoever is just kicking my ass, man. Your expectation under that informed in that belief that you have crafted, in that belief that you've put together, that you're regurgitating or you're feeding or you're managing on a day-to-day basis. Your belief that things suck or whatever it might be creates what you then expect. So it's like you're not going to expect good things to come to you if you believe that nothing good comes to you. And if you don't expect good things to come to you, then this universe that's trying to cooperate, that's trying to bring that package, can't deliver it to you. It's like you're ducking it. And I like to think of it like you can only see what you expect to see. Your eyes, your vision, not just your eye vision, but your soul or your consciousness in your experience on life can only interpret through all these senses to see or to realize what you're expecting, what you expect it to show you. That's why you could have a friend sometimes, it's like, or you're the friend, and it's like, all this good shit's coming to them, or all this good shit's coming to me, and it's like the universe or God or whoever, they're just dodging you. It's like you're getting this shit end of the stick while other people around you are doing well, and you think this just can't even be real. This could be it's not fair, and it can't be real that it could be happening, but it is fair because it's responding or it's obeying your vibration. So if your vibration sucks, you're gonna get more suck. It's not to say that you can't fairly blame somebody if they do something to you and wrong you, but the question is then, what are you going to do about it after the fact? Because you could spend years talking or complaining about how they wronged you, and every time you do, you regurgitate that thought, then you have that feeling response or that emotional response to the thought that you just spit out of your mouth, because obviously it's bothering you enough. If it's coming out of your mouth, then you know that it's gotten to that point where it's not just something that's a small thing. It's oozing out of you that you're pissed about something, or you're burned about something, or you feel resentment, whatever. Or, somebody wronged you and now you just feel like you're being mistreated and you're very sad about it, and it just seems unfair and it just keeps happening to you. And why does this keep happening to me? And I don't understand what I did wrong, and what can I do to change that? And why is God mean to me? And why is the universe so unfair? That's a pattern of thought you don't want to keep going. That's a way of thinking or a narrative that you're spinning that you don't want to keep spinning. Even if it seems completely fucking like you're legitimately correct to make that complaint. And you are right to blame that person, because that situation, that did happen from that person. But take it further back, go further back to the root of that, and you're going to always find that you didn't attract that person into your life by accident. And eventually you could always take it back. And I know people are going to say like, well, what about being a baby and all that stuff? But it doesn't matter, because you're going to be raised in an environment and you're going to establish a vibrational set point. You're going to establish a point that's your address that the package gets sent to. What is that? Some kind of car. I have no idea what that is. Apologies for the obnoxious sound if you're picking it up on the microphone right now. But this kind of shit, you want to do something about it if it's set up in this way. And how you're going to do that is you got to take your power back. So this is why, let's just go into this, because I think I sort of covered that, and I feel good about that. I like the way that feels. Now I want to talk about, like, what can you do about it? Well, you can retrain your vibration. You could train it to something else, but it takes some active effort on your part. You have to kind of, and I'm not talking about doing stuff like effort as in like action, or go run and go jog and go, I'm not, or anything that's physical necessarily. I'm talking about your attention, your focus with your attention, where you put your attention. And I'm not talking about ignoring necessarily or running away, because that doesn't help, because if you still have the vibration going, then running away from the person or the situation is not going to stop it from reoccurring with another person later. What I'm talking about is more the idea that you take the vibration where it is, you say, okay, this is what it is, this is the way I'm thinking and feeling, and it sucks. And then you start to actively put your attention on things that can either massage it or soothe it, kind of devalue the shitty part of it, bring it down a notch. Like, remind yourself, like, that this isn't the way it has to be forever just because this is the way that it's been in the past. I don't need to keep going with this pattern. And yes, I can do something about it, and I don't have to rely on anybody else in order for them. I don't have to wait for that other person to stop treating me like shit in order to do something about my vibration now, to change it so that I will either not have that person in my experience because their frequency doesn't match mine anymore, their vibration doesn't match mine anymore. Like is going to attract like, so they're going to just go spinning out of my experience somewhere else if I change my vibration. And it won't be something that I have to actively do. Like, I don't have to yell at them, or I don't have to say fuck off or move as far away or quit my job or whatever to get away from that. We'll be not able to be in the same space anymore, because that's how this stuff works, is how vibration works. You're only around the stuff that's syncing up or dinging or lighting up in a matched way in some way or another. And if you examine all the people in your life and all the situations that are happening, you'll see that that's true always, because it's just like, it's like gravity. Like, you can't fuck with it. You don't have your opinion on it doesn't matter. It's going. It's going that way. So just to kind of give a little here, like, as an example, I feel like I'm trained more to nature or animals. Like, I spend time with deer, I spend time with my cat, and I feel like my vibration is a bit more. That's just a raccoon on a tree over there. Oh my God. It's a question. Should I get the cameras? I should. Okay. All right. I'll show you. Just because I said nature, I want you to believe that this is real. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Okay. All right. Now you've seen him. He's pretty high up too, by the way. That's really. I know I just zoomed in on that spot, but that raccoon's pretty fucking high up in the tree. How's it going? What's up, Charlie? All right, so I'm more tuned to nature. I'm more tuned to animals, which is a much more like mellow, and like you kind of go with the flow, and like you're open to like a kind of a calm, and you don't have anguish about things. Animals don't carry around this like past anguish, and they don't have these narratives in their head about how they've been mistreated by the world and things suck. They're just going around, and they're expecting that things that they want that they need are being provided for, and they're moving through their environment. They're not. It's just a whole different thing. All right, he's gone now, I think. Oh no, there he is. Anyway, so, and raccoons too, by the way. So I was talking about deer and my cat, raccoons too, because I've got some baby raccoons that have been coming around my house. So, like, for myself, I can say, because I observe that so much and I put so much of my attention on that, I'm vibing with that, or I'm picking up on what they're doing. I'm more in the mode of what is going on with what's a little more natural. At other times in my life, I would have been more bombarded with people and listening to a lot of bullshit and listening to people yapping about their problems and complaining about work and complaining about all these different things that suck in their lives, or just like with really powerful narratives about like these are the worst times, like this is the shitgeist, it's the worst zeitgeist, and that stuff sucks and it doesn't get you anywhere. It's like there's nothing, there's no purpose in any of that, as far as then being in a mode where you're going to get good ideas, where you're going to receive the inspiration for good ideas that are things that you can use so that you could improve the thing that you're doing, because that's going to be provided for. Just like the deer walks around and the nuts fall from the tree and the grass grows on the ground and the leaves are on the bushes and whatever for them to eat, and they expect it and they just move through, and nature provides. For the human, nature or the universe or whatever, your physical reality that you're honed in on or that you're experiencing right now, will provide the ideas. Like, oh, I want to start a business. The ideas are there. The ideas will come to you. But you have to be trained, just like the animal has to be in that vibration of what's natural and just moving through nature in that way. Your vibration has to be trained to the way that the universe is operating in a certain kind of a flow to get those things. And those are all positive things. If it's something to help you to get what you're wanting and grow what you're wanting, those are helpful, positive things. So do you think that saying that everything sucks all the time or complaining about everything all the time will put you in the same flow of where the inspiration is? Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. They're contradictory vibrations or contradictory frequencies. And so your package is going to keep getting delivered. The idea keeps coming, but you're just missing it. You're just not going to see it. You're not perceiving it with your consciousness. It's not being realized by you. It's right there, but it's not being realized by you. That's why sometimes people will kind of click in and get in tune, and they'll see an avalanche of a whole bunch of shit start coming their way all at once. Is because it's all been sitting there waiting for you to get into the mood or the mode or the groove to be able to pick up on it and to realize it. And sometimes it is just an idea, and you might think like, well, that kind of sucks because I want the thing that I want right now. But sometimes it's just an idea, or it's just a feeling to follow of, I would like to go do this thing, and then you go do that thing, and then you meet the person that has that next piece. And if you're impatient and you're not in the groove of what the next thing to the next thing to the next thing is, you're not like that animal who is just living day to day going around getting its food, and you're going to miss that next piece. You got to kind of like back off of the idea that, well, I've wanted this for a really, really long time, so I should get it all right now. And I'm not saying impatient as in like impatience is like, you should be eager and you should want it now, because time is irrelevant when it comes to this kind of stuff. Frequencies are frequencies that when they're matched, and there it is. It doesn't have anything to do with how much time. But there is a kind of a time in the sense that if you have like a story that you're writing or a novel that you're writing, you're not necessarily going to get the entire fucking thing all in your head all at once. You might get a shitload of it. You might see the beginning, middle, and end in a moment. Like you finally relaxed and you let it in and it just hit you all at once. I've had that with songs. I've had that with stories. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but there's still a process in many cases where you're going to be writing. You're not necessarily, you might write 40 pages in one day, but you're still operating in a time-space reality. You're still operating in a so there's no rush. So chill. So that's another thing, is that, that's part of what fucks up vibration with this stuff too, is that sometimes it's like, well, I've been missing this stuff for so long and I've wanted this my entire life, so now I need it now. And if you can't tell me how to get it now, I don't even want to listen to you. And that's why people go to motivational speaker type things rather than listen to the spiritual thing, or rather than listen to the thing that tells them to chill out. Because the idea of somebody telling you to chill out when you think you need to work faster and harder to get what you want sooner, that seems like like, that doesn't make any sense. Here we go. Here's, what is this? It's these four-wheeler guys. They were here the last time when I did the video. See, these things are happening, these little patterns these times. I'm out here later, though, right now. I thought maybe, well, I didn't really have any say in when I was going to come out here. I was trying to avoid it because I thought I'm going to lose the light and I'm not even going to be able to do this video at all. And I thought, but I couldn't hold it back. I had to run, and I wanted to come here in front of this rock. And then we had the oh, there he is right there again. We have the raccoon friend. I'll show you more of him when I'm done talking. I'm not going to talk much longer because I don't want to drill this to a place where it's obnoxious, and I've said a lot about what I mean and what this stuff is in the past couple videos. You know, differences between motivation and inspiration and following through with inspiration. And then the other one that's just talking about, you know, more my personal spiritual experiences that led me to all of this understanding. But there is a way of being that's ideal, and that will be indicated to you by how you feel in terms of your emotions. So when your vibration is in the place where it should be, you're gonna feel good physically, like emotionally. Like your body's probably gonna feel nice and replenished and juicy and rejuvenated, but you're also emotionally gonna like yourself and feel confident and feel like your true self, where your thoughts are good and you like yourself. You go to sleep with positive thoughts, you wake up with positive thoughts. That may be somewhat like, you know, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh, that's kind of rare, or I don't know anybody that's like that, it doesn't mean it's unattainable, because we're just emotional beings. No matter what you say about us, that whether you want to believe, you know, oh, well, there is no such thing as spirit, there's no such thing as anything non-physical, we can all agree, we understand we are emotional beings. And there is obviously better feelings and worse feelings. And you want to go in the direction of the better feelings. And so when I'm talking about this idea of training to, say, nature, that's just an example. You know, you might have a thing that you do like swimming or something like that that makes you feel really good and that puts your mind at ease. For me, it's walking a lot of the time. If I were to get into a place where I felt wound up about something or in any way stressed or anxious about something, if I go take a walk, physically, I think I distract myself, but I also, it seems as though my thoughts have a chance to kind of clear. It's also nice to get outside and there's no ceiling above you. You know, there's just, you got the sky above you and you get more space and you have the ability. It's not necessary to do that. Maybe some other kind of exercise could help, but it's not necessary to do exercise either. It's more about what might help you to soothe the current situation. Like if you have thoughts that you're thinking that suck, then you want to put more of your attention on things that are better feeling types of thoughts. So you might have to be putting a little effort in, because the speed at which the negative is going is greater in the moment. And now you got to kind of slow that down a little bit before it starts getting positive again. So it's not necessarily like something you can do all at once. It's something you do gradually, and it's something that you make a practice of. So you could say training, or you could say a practice. That's what I'm trying to talk about, is the idea of training your vibration, or training where you apply your attention in order to improve the way that you feel. Because the way you feel, if I'm talking about feeling and emotion and stuff, that's just the way that you can tell whether your vibration is in the direction that you want to be going in or not. That's your guidance. The pull where the ideas for the things that'll lead you to what you're wanting, the pull of that feels good. It feels like a raw desire, like a pure passion for life, and it's good. It's a good feeling. It makes you happy. It makes you smile, and there's like joy, and there's a kind of a sense of things being easy and just working out for you, and it's all good. And like, that's how it should be. That's how it can be. That's not too much to ask for at all. But if you have a bunch of narratives or a bunch of beliefs that are telling you there's no way, you don't deserve that, you fucked something up, or this person screwed you over and they've just upset you so much that there's just no way, whatever it is, or you're just too depressed, you got to soothe your way out of that. So I'm just sort of offering, maybe because everybody's different. I can't feel for you, and I don't know what your preferences are. But I'm talking from my point of view. It's usually things that are what you would call them physical things, in the sense of, it's my attention. It's where I put my attention. So the walk can be good because it takes my attention away from stupid shit on the internet, stupid shit on whatever TV, a bunch of conversation maybe that I'm having with whoever, or just narratives in general. It just gets me moving, and then the movement is freeing, and then the thoughts start to kind of adjust to that. And I know that if I go take, say, a half-hour walk, or an hour if I'm really chewing on something that's really making me more stressed about something, that I can clean it up and clear it out and resolve it, so that I feel much, much better when I return. When I come back from the walk, I'm in a much better place than I was at. Just like if you have a friend who's really, really positive, and like I'm that friend, you'll talk to that person and they'll lift you for the moment. Well, now you got to kind of start to do it for yourself a little too, because otherwise you're going to need to keep going to them, getting the replenishment from them, get the little cup of positive from them, and then if your patterns are still really strong in the negative, you're going to start getting them going again. You might just wake up and not do something about it, where you take control of it for yourself, take some power back for yourself, and where you put your focus. And you may find yourself just thinking that pattern again, that person screwed you over, whatever it is, and now you're going around on that thing. And then before you know it, your emotions are matching that thought pattern. Whether the thought pattern came first or whether the feeling came, it's irrelevant. It's what's going on, and it's something that you can do something about. And that's what I'm talking about, is training it to something else, but not just running away from it, not just ignoring it, but giving it a chance to breathe. So that may require you to take your attention away from it somewhat, or ignore it, or block it out a little bit. But it's also more about the fact that you actively place your attention on something else that is new. That you put more emphasis on something that's wanted, or something that soothes, or something that relaxes, something that is preferable. Because then you'll find that, oh wow, now I'm feeling better, and I'm feeling like things are easier, and I'm calmed down. Boom, there's all the ideas. Boom, there's the stuff that I wanted. It's so simple. And a lot of times, if a person was to note it, they would say, you're right, that happens every single time. I'll go take a shower, I'll go do this thing that chills me out, and then there it comes. But usually people are so caught up, and they're talking to different people all day long, and there's the raccoon. And they're talking to different people all day long, and they got a lot of different stuff that's happening, and they don't remember how they got there when they were feeling better. Where did the idea come from? That's where it came from. It came when you let it in. It came when you chilled out enough and you relaxed enough to let it in. So when you're feeling like things are crazy and now you need to figure out how you're going to be able to get the idea that you're needing, it's not about doubling down and ramming your head against the wall and trying to push yourself to squeeze it out of yourself. That's the time you want to relax. And if you really want to get ahead of it, and you really want to get into a place where you're going to be consistently receiving those ideas and consistently living that ease and having things work out for you and meeting the type of people that would be matching that, which would be the ideal thing for you, the better feeling people, people who are more what you're ideally wanting to be around, that are positive. If you're wanting to have that more consistently, then for a while, you got to kind of maybe put a little effort into it, if it's been going negative for a while, to put more attention to get it to change, to shift it. Because once it shifts, you'll feel it. Because then you'll start going, holy shit, like like it's off my back, like I'm relaxed now. And then you'll wake up and you'll feel good that day for no reason, and you'll say, wow, something's different now, because I don't have to sit here and have a fight in my head, or try to get these negative thoughts that seem like they're coming into my head without me wanting them to. They're not. They're just practiced. You've trained yourself, and that's the frequency that you're on, and because of that, the universe is sending you more of it, because that's what it does. Simple. So I don't want to drag, because I could talk for 3 hours, but I want to leave it here, because I want to leave it in a place where you'll feel like, okay, I listened to that, and then what are you going to do about it? Because I don't want to sit here. I gave you some example. You get the general idea of where I'm going with this. But this is something that, if you're wanting to be in that mode of inspiration, where you get the idea for the song, you get the chorus, you get the next piece, and boom, you've got the whole song, and it came from nothing. It just came to you, which is an awesome feeling. If you're somebody who makes music, just as an example of one type of a thing, or if you're somebody who, whatever, it's awesome when you feel that divine inspiration that you want, people will call it. It's awesome when it just all came to you. Because where it came to you, the reason why you like it so much, even though it sort of came to you, is because it's actually everything that you've been wanting, that you've been thinking about, but you haven't let it in. And then when you let it in, all of a sudden you recognize it and you go, it's like your idea. It is your idea. It is coming from you. It's coming from your soul. It's coming from whatever you want to call that. It's coming from your broader consciousness of the totality of your experiences. But the cool part is that it's almost kind of foreign to you at first, because it just arrived, without you having to put in this. You didn't actively think it up. You didn't make it come to you in your thoughts. You let it come to you. And so that's how artists have to work if they want to be on the wave of inspiration. But this works for all things. This works for relationships. This works for career stuff, whatever it is. This is where you want to be. This is how you want to operate. It's an energy thing. It's not a hard work thing. It's not action, 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 and nothing else. The inspiration is really, really important. It's the necessary thing if you're wanting to go from the place of the total satisfaction. If you want to have that total satisfaction with the work or whatever it is that you're creating, or get the outcome that you're really, really wanting, not just that you're sort of wanting and that you'll settle for. If you're wanting that really awesome stuff, then you've got to be on the wave of what that inspiration is, or to be inspired. And I don't mean like when sometimes people who make music will say, well, we were inspired by this band. A lot of times they mean they were influenced, meaning they heard that thing and now they're kind of ripping it off because they like it. That's not the same thing. But yes, you can get inspired in the sense that by the listening to it, you can relax, that you then allow in. But we're not talking about influence necessarily. Influence is more what's around, that is that thing that's shaping the vibration that you want to take back your own power of influence and put your attention on where you're wanting it, so you can get on the wave of the inspiration. Because the inspiration is just there. It's just what's natural. It's the universe. It's like what's making the sun do the sun thing, and what's making the ocean do the ocean thing. It's just happening. It's always there. Inspiration is always there. The energy is always flowing. And it's flowing from a place that's not a physical place, and then it's sort of streaming into these bodies here. And then that brings us into the realization of what we translate with our senses. And what the content of that is. What are we going to translate with our senses? Is from our beliefs and our expectations, like I said. And what we vibrate is dictated by our beliefs and our expectations. What we generally feel and think about that shapes that narrative in our head of what is good, what we deserve, and what's coming to us, and what should happen to us, and what we think is going to happen to us. It's coming from the vibrational point. And so that's when I'm talking about getting on the wave of inspiration. I'm talking about shifting the vibration into the good feeling place, so that you'll match up frequency-wise with the wanted, with the good stuff. Now it's getting dark out here, and I probably should get going because who knows what other kind. I mean, there's bears, so there's other critters out here. Raccoon, cool. Bear, I don't really want to fuck with that. That's not really my thing. I don't know if they're friendly. I'm not worried about them though because I'm making noise. But anyway, so just to leave it at that, think about that. If you're watching this for advice, or if you're just watching this for more clarity on your own situation, fine. But if you are kind of watching this and you've taken in some of the stuff from these other videos and you're thinking this is helpful stuff, then think about what it is that makes you feel ease and what relaxes you and what you can do with your attention so that you're not putting it on things that are things you don't actually want, that will just then give you the feeling of, oh, that sucks, I don't like that. Put it somewhere, put your attention on something that you do actually want. Put more of your attention on what you actually want than what you don't want until your vibration shifts, and then it's over there on its own and you're waking up feeling that way. Then you're trained to that. Just like I'm trained to more with the way that the animals are than the people are. That's how I roll. And as a result, I'm at ease. And the ease gives me the ideas and the inspiration for music, and it just happens. It just flows. Or for this video. I don't have to think it up. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to work hard at it. I already did the work. That's the thing. The work is that you live life and you put up with all the shit that you're observing that then hones what the preference is that you then shift towards. You figure out what you don't want, then you know what you do want, and then you put your attention only on what you do want, and then you move in the direction of it by way of the flow of the inspiration, like you're surfing the wave or like you're floating downstream on the river, and it's taking you continuously to wanted. And it feels good every step of the way, and it feels easy. And some people will say, well, that's stupid because life is a bunch of hard work. It actually, yeah, there is some hard work. The hard work is you don't know what you want in a given situation, so you have to put up with a bunch of bullshit to identify what you do want, because you don't really clearly and definitively know what it is that you want until you've lived some of the contrasting experiences of life that then makes you say, fuck that, I'd like this instead. And every time you say, fuck that, there's the other side of it, which is, I'd like that instead. And so that's life. That's what earthbound life is going through that process. But you don't have to spend your whole goddamn life just stuck in the shit that you don't want and screaming, fuck that all the time. As soon as you get the, fuck that, you're supposed to just take that and go, okay, now I know what I do want. Now I'm going to relax and be easy about it. And if that sounds too easy, then you got a belief that says that life is supposed to be hard. So that's something that you need to soothe and massage and train yourself away from. Because if you think that life is supposed to just be hard all the way through, you're missing something there. It's not right. It's not how it's supposed to be. Now my stomach is growling. The raccoon's going to eat me if I don't move. The mosquitoes already are eating me. So I'm getting out of here. And I'm feeling now it's off of me a little bit, because really it's like, the inspired non-physical creatures with all these thoughts with the with the juice for what's going to go into this video. They got on me. I had to run and grab the camera and come out here and do this. They were on me. And the words were coming out of my mouth before I could set up the camera fast enough. This is the exact same thing that happened to me the last time I made the video, like I was saying. It's ready to come out. So, but see how it was easy? I didn't have to sweat over this, because I didn't even know what the hell I was even going to say. And I don't know where this is coming from. It's coming from out there. It's a good place.